Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. Nate and Josh back here on a Monday with you guys. Got nine games in the NBA tonight. Few teams on a back-to-back as well, so want to make sure you check that out. There's about 4 of them. Definitely want to know everything about the injury reports that you can before you do get those plays down. But we're going to be bringing you best bets and player props in this episode. One episode each and every weekday now moving forward with everything you need in one. So definitely make sure to subscribe to that channel. Continue to follow along. Nate, let's get into your first look here. Pretty interesting game early on in the docket here. We got the Magic at home on the back-to-back and the visiting Blazers.
Yeah, it's an interesting line. I mean, why were you getting the discount here on the Blazers when they have a rest advantage? Like, what are we being trapped here? Blazers undefeated as underdogs this year, and you know they've handled business against mediocre to bad Eastern Conference teams. They won 10 of their last 11 last year against non-playoff East teams. They also beat Orlando twice, who made the playoffs, right, and completely shut down Paolo to a tune of a 73 offensive rating. Franz was not very good either. They have the horses on the wings to deal with these guys. This is, not a huge advantage for the Magic. This is their third in 4 nights. Wait, they're on the back-to-back. That's why it's such a quizzical line. It's like, right. Wait, Blazers have the rest advantage here. You're just saying like the travel is an issue. Magic on a back-to-back after playing twice against Boston in some pretty hard-hitting games. I don't think the Magic have completely fixed all their chemistry issues. I mean, Desmond Bane is still kind of sticking out like a sore thumb here. And the Blazers have incredibly good chemistry under Thiago Splitter. I mean, doing everything you want to see basically in terms of winning in the margins. I think they should be favored here. So I will go ahead and take the points.
Yeah, no notes on that really. They're healthy. They're coming in. They're playing really fast, and they're better in transition because they have all the wings on their team, and then Drew Holiday, that do everything guard. So yeah, interestingly, they're kind of running through Denny right now a little bit more than Drew over the last 3 games. He's been the one who's been diming up a lot more. He's the one with the potential assists up there in touches alongside Drew at this point. So it's a little bit more even distribution of playmaking, which is great as well. Coming up against this Magic defense, we'll probably see Suggs sit, I would imagine. So there's Anthony Black in there. I like Anthony Black, but I love Jalen Suggs. Let's put it that way. It's definitely a downgrade. So I'm going to go into the Spurs and Bulls game. We got Josh Giddey questionable. So this is hanging at -4. Can see that moving a bit more. Ayo Dosunmu's playing, but he was on a 24-minute restriction last game, so not sure what that'll look like this game. If he's off the limit, then he just takes the Giddey role, and that's not the same player in terms of being able to make others around you better. I think Ayo's is plenty good scorer and just as good of a scorer as Josh Giddey is, but not the playmaker, rebounder, and everything else. So you miss Giddey, this Bulls team looks a lot different. He's the son of that whole rotation. But I think the key here too is De'Aaron Fox is back, and I think he's pissed, and he's a little bit insecure pissed. He comes back to a team where Dylan Harper looked great. He's out now for a while, so it'll help D Fox sort of get his footing back as the 1B to Wemby, but he's watching guys like Stephon Castle. He's got 15 potential assists per game over his last 6 games. Even the one with Fox back, he had a ton of potential. So the way that this Spurs team plays, move the ball, go fast, and then just whatever Wemby decides he wants to do on any given play is how they go. That's great. This Bulls team is going to be fun. We both like them to win more than they lose this year, right? But have a record above 500 at 41.5 wins at their total. So happy to keep backing them in the right spots. But this is not that for them against the Spurs team that I think just does what the Bulls do well better. And now you're talking about the worst paint defense in the league getting Wembanyama against them. So they're going to dominate the paint on both sides. And I don't even think they need the threes, right? So they're going to be fine in this game. And I think they'll win this one handily.
Yeah, it's not a good strategy. We saw what they played Milwaukee a couple days ago with the Bulls to be like, oh, you have one of the most dominant paint scorers in the game. We're just going to continue to let you walk into the paint and see how that happens.
41 from Giannis. Yep.
Yes. Giannis goes nuts. So, I mean, maybe a little Wemby parlay here. If you think, Fox being back sets him up, he's only at 26 points. I mean, definitely could have his way with Vooch. I do like Vooch on the other side of that, but we'll get into that in player props. I mean, we got a very high total here in this game, so room for variance. I do think the Wizards are going under here. I mean, also a pretty high total of 235. I'm not going to take an under with the Wizards, though, because they could easily give up 137. But the situation is Pistons played last night, comeback win in Philly, right? So they have the travel back here, and I'd rather play the under on the team total rather than assume the Pistons are going to run away with this from the jump. Maybe they come out a little sluggish. Like, it's hard to get up for this, even though you're on a 6-game win streak. If you're the Pistons, top in the East, and but I do think if they fall behind, or they're just sluggish on offense, that they're just going to put the clamps on in the second half, and pretty much like will this one out, and maybe they will out a lower scoring game. But I don't think the Wizards are getting much more than this. Just to be simple about it, that the Pistons have not allowed 111 in 5 straight games. They have number 3 defensive rating in that span, number 3 turnover rate, allowing second fewest paint points. Wizards are not really scoring much from outside, bottom 7 in 3-point rate, 4th worst assist rate. And I mean, not only the Pistons limiting assists, they also are second against ISO. So, I mean, just like, where are you getting your offense generated here? Unless CJ McCollum has a true throwback game. I mean, he did have a throwback game, and the Wiz still did not crack 110 a couple games ago. They're averaging 105 in their last 3 on the road here. And yeah, just kind of a mess of a rotation, as you would point out with the Wizards, right? So with the Pistons on a back-to-back, we might see more guys like B-Ball Paul, Javonte Green, more minutes for them, maybe even see some Isaac Jones. These are not bad defenders. These are guys who are going to be hustling to try to continue to stay in that rotation, and have a very easy matchup to just clamp down on these Wizards, man, who are just truly awful.
Truly. Shout out the throwback Pistons logo as well. Can't go too far without recognizing that. Yeah, there's not much to say for Washington. It's all bad. It's all bad everywhere. There's the lone little bright spots, but they're not trying to win. And they're going to be struggling to score as well consistently. And if the Pistons come back home, I think it's defense that helps them get there. So looking at the Bucks and Mavs, more best bet here. Like, everything we just said about the Wizards kind of applies to the Mavs. They're good at defense. They're the opposite. They're just horrible. Like, they're playing slow. They're horrible on offense, and they're top 10 defense according to defensive rating. But are they? Like, they're also giving up the 3rd most makes in the paint, the most attempts inside the paint. It's just there's really no pressure up top. Max Christie is a very good defender. Najee Marshall is a versatile defender. And then what? Like, Brandon Williams, Jaden Hardy, D'Lo, right? PJ Washington guarding guys, fine. Gafford in for 25 minutes tops if he plays tonight. No Lively. AD's questionable. Like, I guess if AD plays, that's why this is still just like hanging around at like -2 and not moving too much. But there's no like penetration from the top. There's nobody who's like controlling the offense in a way that then makes you worried about players like shooters. That is Clay playing, right? He's still injured, I'm pretty sure, not playing very much when he gets out there. There's just not much for the Mavs, and I guess the only thing, like I said, holding this on at -2 is the fact that, well, the Bucks also played a tough one against Houston. We should make that clear too. Like, they were an hour away from Dallas, or whatever that drive is, not very far. But they were playing in the game yesterday that they almost won, probably should have won. Actually, they were at home, excuse me, so they did have to go out to Dallas for this one. So that would be where the -2s coming from. I'm just trying to find it, but I still just prefer everybody I'm going to see on the court for the Bucks, and the vibes are so low in Dallas. I don't believe in what they're doing. Guess you should monitor the AD situation a bit, but I'm still really like fine with taking a money line for the Bucks here.
Yeah, and you have to make sure Giannis is going to play. He's probably going to be questionable, just with the ongoing knee soreness. So I think that's part of where the line is.
Sure.
I mean, if Giannis plays, it's just like I'm just like, let's go, wheels up. Like, I will absolutely take him against, even if Anthony Davis is out there. Like, who knows how long for, and how healthy, and how the Mavericks. I mean, they needed a Najee Marshall explosion to beat the freaking Wizards, who we just dumped all over. So it's just like, I mean, and this is a defense that's good, but it's built on limiting like assisted threes, not on limiting Giannis. So
down low.
Yeah, I think if Giannis does not play, that the under is kind of a smash play here, because like the Bucks they're so built around him to generate offense. Otherwise, and just bonus pick here. I mean, neither of us took Lakers at Charlotte, but the Hornets without LaMelo Ball, potentially without Miles Bridges, it's creeping up to -8.5. But we gotta like the Lakers there to win by double digits
after a terrible loss from the Hawks. That's going to kind of keep that line depressed. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, player props. I mentioned Vooch. I'm just going to take the threes here. 2 threes, close to even money. I mean, the prop is 18.5 points. And how many of those do you think are coming in the paint against Wembanyama? I mean, he has scored 29 a game his last 3 against Wemby, but I mean, he's also taken 23s in that span, including 2 of 9 from 3 in the last matchup, which just tracks with what you would expect. Like, why would he want to go down there? Like, he's going to be a pick and pop guy. That's his bread and butter. And that's what he's going to be able to accomplish against Wemby, not trying to score in the paint. Now, if Giddey doesn't play, it's Trey Jones assists all day, right? I mean, you mentioned that Giddey is questionable, and that could potentially hurt generating open shots because Giddey is just getting him at least like 4 to 5 threes per game. But for Vooch, it's really if he's going to drift out there, and you look at who he's played, in matchups with elite rim protectors, strong teams down low, like 4 for 8 against Mitch Rob's Knicks, 4 for 6 against Jalen Duren's Pistons. He'll also drift to the corners, and the Spurs are dead last in corner 3 percentage allowed in the last 4. Also getting burned in the mid range lately. So this is a spot for Vooch to be able to hit some jumpers. And I mean, for them to try to suck in Wemby with these drives and get Vooch open in the corner from the 3, we're seeing more centers shoot more threes, and Vooch has at least 1 3 in 11 straight home games. So let's make it 2. I think it's worth it if he's going to get up a bunch against Wemby.
Yeah, it's a weird price. I would think people would be on that a bit more. 2 threes for Vooch very sort of fluctuated last season, anywhere from like -120 to like -160. So I'm happy to see this at this number. He's probably taking a few less this year, obviously, as we see a few more shooters overall. But yeah, I'm still happy to take this against Wemby. I like that look. I'm going to go to Jaquez again. 26.5 is still just too low to me when he's playing in this situation, which is without Bam. Wiggins has been a big beneficiary of Bam being off court and getting more points per game, really. But Jaquez is getting more everything. Like, he's averaging basically 34 PRA per 36 without Bam. And even when you put him on the court with Wiggins and or Norm Powell, and he's never really on the court ever with both of them at the same time, he comes off the bench. If both of those guys close, then they're on with Jaquez. But that's the key to me, is Jaquez is seeing 30 minutes because he closes. Jovic is now closing as well because he's the backup center. Still, I'm on a strict no Jovic diet for a long time. I don't know what it would take to get me to go back and bet on him. The thing that kept me from betting on him was that he wasn't playing at the end of the game, and now they're not going to put Kel'el Ware there in closing minutes. And I think this will be a pretty good game against the Cavs. And it's going to be fast-paced, and the Heat are going to always drag these paces as high as they can, unless they play like the Spurs or teams that can essentially assert their will against them in terms of pace. But the Cavs still want to play quickly as well. They still want to shoot whenever they get the first best shot in the shot clock. They're going for it. And with Garland out there as well, like, they're just going to continue to be a well-oiled machine on offense. But the key here is like the Heat dragging this pace and total up. So for Jaquez, all the numbers just point to everything. Like, I don't think he's going to see the Evan Mobley matchup. First of all, he's coming off the bench, so he's going to get a lot more. Probably DeAndre Hunter will be on the second unit now with Garland back, I would imagine. But that's just where their defense is just not very good either on that second unit. So love Jaquez to be able to take full advantage of his minutes in this one.
Yeah, I think it's a better play than expecting Norman Powell to like match points with Donnie Mitchell. I think the Cavs will have all their attention towards him as the primary option, and Jaquez can kind of slip in there. Other side of this one, I mean, Jalen Tyson has been hot and is at 10 points. And with the Cavs on a back-to-back, would expect him to get a little more burn and probably get double digits in a game with a 247 total. So that was another look, but didn't have. The only thing
that scares me about the Cavs, it's a really interesting point because they've got Merrill, Tyson, a little bit of Craig Porter Jr., but those guys mostly make Merrill and Tyson coming off the bench. And with Garland back, if he gets back to like 33, 34 minutes in this one after playing 28 in the last game, now you're talking about a thinner rotation, and it might be between, do they need shooting or do they need athleticism and sort of off-ball stuff from Tyson, right? Then that dictates who gets the minutes between Merrill and Tyson. I hope it's Tyson consistently, but when they need the threes, Merrill's going to take those minutes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how it plays out. But I mean, the Wolves on a back-to-back again, but their last 2 games have been blowouts. So I think we should be wheels up here for Julius Randle. It's a discount because he's not a point guard by name, but he is the point guard of this team. He is leading. He's like basically doubling anyone else in potential assists per game, right? He's at like 11 plus in 4 of his last 5 games. The last time faced the Jazz, he had 12 dimes on 14 potentials in just 26 minutes. And so you say like, well, that's not a ton of potentials. But yes, he barely had to play. This one expected to be a little closer because it's in Utah, because Minnesota did play last night. But I think it's going to be the same old story without Walker Kessler down there. The Jazz are fifth worst guarding the corner three. They allow the most above the break threes and have been lucky on the percentage there. So I think Randall will be getting in there, kicking it out. I mean, he's has 6 more potential assists since Ant returned 3 games ago. Then Ant is what I'm referring to. And I mean, Ant beat his timetable back with the hamstring. So how much is he really pushing on the second night of a back-to-back here in Utah? I like Randall. I like Jaden McDaniels to be the beneficiary of some of these assists. If you do want to parlay it with him to get 10, 12 points, he's been really showing off an improved offensive game, has Jaden Daniels all year. I mean, he's third in pull-up points, paint points, second in drive points on this team. So he's scoring more on his drives than Julius Randle, who's kicking more. And that's where you get the correlation play there as far as which stats they're getting.
Yeah, I love Julius Randle this season, man. Like, this is definitely his best season without question, because he's filling up other parts of the the score, box score, scoreboard, whatever. And when you see the assist coming in for this guy, you see him under control and making the right play. Like, damn, this is the how he's like reaching his full potential finally from a dude what we saw get like an empty 21 points, 10 rebounds a game for like a season when he was in New Orleans, but it was just empty. And now it's like this dude is contributing to winning consistently. Nothing but praise for Jay Randall as a Knicks fan, especially. But the time is bad. Just thank the Lord. We got Isaiah Collier back on the floor. My boy, last year's MVP of the show. He is back with a 5.5 assist line, played 26 minutes. Our boy had 11 potential assists in 26 minutes in a 40-point blowout to the aforementioned Timberwolves in that cup game. Another reason this probably is a bit closer in Utah. Hard to get up for a game. You just beat a team by 40, and this one doesn't matter as much. You don't need the point differential like you did in the NBA Cup. This will be a lot closer than 40 points. Might be 20, but that's still a lot closer than 40. Collier is going to play at least 25 again. I got to imagine he's getting close to full here. And like, there's no other point guard in this team. They've been waiting for him to come in to either take Keontae George's spot in the starting lineup like last season when Keontae George started coming off the bench because they preferred him in that scorer role with the second unit. I don't know what Will Hardy is really going to do, but I know that Isaiah Collier, whoever he's out there with, is going to be looking to dime people up. So he's already at nearly a potential assist every other minute that he's on the floor. Keep him at 26. And I understand the Jazz are not good. And that's a big reason why he only had 3 assists on 11 potential assists. It's because they're not good. So they're not going to make a ton of shots that he passes to them, especially without Walker Kessler to grab them at the rim and have those easy ones now that he's out for the season. I don't care. I'm still taking him to get 6+ because I think this lives at 7.5 when he starts averaging 30 minutes a game again.
Yeah. I mean, he's your boy. You always follow Collier, follow the money. It's the front leg of a back-to-back for Utah. They have Indiana tomorrow. So even if this doesn't hit, I expect you to be going back to the well tomorrow for that much easier matchup, right? Where you think you won't have a blowout. You've got the worst offense in the league right now in the Pacers, and the Jazz will be evenly matched there.
Yep, 100%. So that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel. Going to be back tomorrow with more best bets and those player props. So until we see you next, happy betting.